Good evening, everybody, or good morning, everybody. This is late, early, around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. Uh, Better late than never. I'm basically here to do a review and a recap and a commentary off of Green Leaf, the fourth day. And on the fourth day, we see that a lot has happening within that fourth day. Within that fourth day, AJ, as you know, was in the hospital because he was attempting suicide. They basically put him on suicide watch. Um, he's come through it pretty well, but he is going to need some therapy. And so we see that the doctors have basically called in Grace and Noah to let them know that Noah actually has a decision. He can choose to basically go. Uh, he can basically go into a institution or a camp. I'm going to say into an institution or a camp to basically get therapy, not only for his suicide, but also due to the fact that we now found out what was so much a mystery. And the mystery was that AJ basically told Grace exactly what was going on. So we find out that AJ got raped or have been raped or misogynized basically when he was in jail. So this last encounter while he was in jail, the young man that attacked him had HIV. So this is the reason why he was so basically tight-lipped. Now, to understand that AJ is going to have to get in there, AJ, you're going to have to get in there and you're going to have to do some therapy, especially nowadays. HIV is not yet, they have not yet found a cure for HIV, but there are all kinds of drugs that are out there that can assist and that can keep you live and going for years and years and years. I have known a lot of people. I have befriended a lot of people, especially men, not so much of women who basically have HIV. So it's not a death sentence, even though you may think it is a death sentence, but it isn't. So we go on and we find out that AJ has a choice either to go into the institution to seek the help that he needs or uh, live outside of the institution and try to get the help like that. And of course, you know, Grace is basically hoping that AJ will basically go with her, but that did not happen. He opted to basically go with Noah. Now, I don't know if that's a good idea. I really, really don't think that's a good idea because uh, Noah doesn't know AJ and AJ doesn't know Noah. So, and I think, now I could be wrong, but I think AJ, being the type of person that he is, I think he's going to really, really take advantage of the fact that even though Noah is his father, he's going to take an advantage with that. Now, I think the one reason why he didn't go with Grace, one reason why is because he doesn't know Grace, but Grace is very consistent with, she's very focused on, things when things need to get done. So I think that's one of the reasons why AJ did not go with Grace. Now we go on and we find out. In the meantime, we find out that uh, we find out that trying to go off the top of some of my notes. we find out that we find out that Karissa basically finally told Lady May that Jacob and her basically getting the divorce, and the reason why they're getting a divorce, she told Lady Mae that she stepped outside of the marriage, and this was the only and the first time that she stepped outside of the marriage. She said that she really didn't want to get a divorce. All she wanted was for Jacob to basically forgive her, or for stepping outside of the marriage, because she stuck with Jacob for years and years and years, many times that he stepped outside of the marriage. So when Lady Mae found out that uh, the reason why basically Karissa and Jacob was getting a divorce is because Jacob did not want to maybe get some help, go to therapy or things like that. And so, of course, way Lady Mae basically operates, she, goes in and she pulls Jacob up out of a meeting that I believe Jacob and his father basically was having. And so she had this candid conversation with Jacob. I'm not going to say candid, but she basically starts to quote uh, Bible studies. While she's quoting Bible study, Jacob wants to know exactly what's going on. What's the purpose of you quoting all of these Bible studies? And then he realized that his mother's basically found out that Karissa has told her the reason why they're getting a divorce. And so Lady Mae has this conversation telling Jacob that, no matter what happens or anything like that, if you do wind up getting a divorce, to make sure that you stay uh, in contact, and to be a very good co-parenting. Now, of course, she told Jacob to basically go back and apologize to Karissa. So in the meantime, we see a scene where Jacob and Karissa is basically Jacob goes and see Karissa. And Jacob says, well, I have something I want to tell you, but he could not bring himself to basically accept the fact that Carissa stepped outside of the marriage, and he just couldn't do it, even though his mother told him he should apologize. And then what I didn't really like is that Carissa, as always, controlling and pushy that she can't be, Carissa wanted to tell Jacob exactly how to apologize to her. And so, which I kind of think that was kind of, now you can't really tell men exactly how to apologize to you. Is that they really have to really want to apologize. And right now, the way Jacob is feeling, and due to the fact that he still, I believe, he still had with some feelings, and he kind of want to see exactly where is it going to go with Basie and Basie's wife. And so I think that's one of the reasons why he still, wanted to maybe try to get something going with Basie's wife. And so in the meantime, we find out that um, AJ and Noah is basically at the house, getting ready to pack. And of course, Noah is speaking to Grace, and Grace is basically giving Noah this card where basically he can get in contact with the various health care providers. And AJ walks in and say, see, I told you that this is one of the reasons why, I don't want to really basically stay here. It's because you go basically press the issue. Little do he know, Noah's going to press the issue too. And so where we see that Noah is AJ is basically packing his clothes and everything, and on his way out. And so you can see that Grace is basically, really, really disappointed that uh, AJ didn't want to basically stay with her. But we understand, and I understand, because if he is in the house where Grace and Lady May is, you know they are really going to press the issue and stuff like that. So as he was on his way out the door, he's finished packing his clothes. He's on his way out the door. He comes back and he gives Grace a little kiss on the top of the head, which basically made her, feel a little bit better. Now, in the meantime, we go on and we find that Grace was staying with Grace a little bit. Grace has basically been doing some investigation. And so we found out, and Grace had found out by way of charity, Phil's father. And Phil's father is somewhat Islamic gentleman. He's into the religion. So basically, Grace gives Phil's father a call and started asking him questions and stuff like that. And so she says, "Well, this is Grace. I'm basically calling about Phil. I don't even know Phil's last name." And he says, "Well, first of all, are you an investigator?" And she says, "No." And then, second of all, are you a tax? I think he said a tax collector or something like that. I could be wrong, but he was saying one strike, two strike. And then when she got to um, asking information about Phil, he says this is one strike and one strike you're out. And basically, he basically hung up the phone. Now we know that now that we have found out that Phil and his father are not really talking. We don't know exactly what's going on. We know that the mother has been passed away for years and that Phil and his father is not on the mend. They haven't talked to each other in years. So in the meantime, we see Charity. Charity is basically still at the church, the Catholic Church, and she's trying to push this thing about doing the history of the church and the background and how the church was formed and all of this. So she sees Connie. She sees Connie, and she throws the information and she throws the idea at Connie. And Connie says, "Well, have you gone to Judy?" And she says, "Yes, I went to Judy, but Judy told me no." And Phil says no. And then Connie says, "Well, if they say no, I'm basically saying no also." And so Charity's all up in a huffy and an uproar and everything. She's just like, things ain't working out for her. And so we also go on and we find out that Charity then messed around and got herself fired. She then messed around and got herself fired by Judy. Judy was upset due to the fact that she had already said that she did not want the history of them telling the story of Calvin. And so she got herself fired, right? So in the meantime, while she got herself fired, she's all upset and everything. So she goes to Phil and then she tells Phil, "Well, you're not the person who I really thought you were going to be." And so Phil says, "Look, Judy is soon to be the first lady, and she's already made this decision. So basically, Judy and Phil are on the same page when it comes to the PowerPoint thing." And so we see that Judy and Phil is basically at home, uh, getting ready to have dinner or whatever. But an interesting thing, we find out that Judy is still married. She has not even divorced from her first degree husband. So we know that this is basically an arranged marriage, right? So she's very upset due to the fact that she tried to, seduce Bill, and Bill wasn't really having it. He's not feeling it. You could tell on his face he ain't feeling it. And, tried to give him a little blowjob. And he was like, nah, 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 nah. This ain't happening. This ain't happening. So she's all upset and everything due to the fact that Bill really doesn't really want to be dealing with her in a physical way, and she storms out. And so we go on, and now we finding out that Basie's sister is really up to no good. Basie's sister is really, really up to no good due to the fact that uh, the bishop basically went down to talk to Basie's sister about, the fact of what happened to her father, and the fact that the father was basically caught in the fire and everything, that he didn't know it, it wasn't his, he didn't do it, he didn't kill her father. But we find out that the bishop kind of sort of spilled the beans to let them know that the house that basically, well, the mansion that's basically that they're in is probably, if not uh, their house. And so he goes down there to try to convince her to, let's put this all to amends and everything. Let's pray about it and stuff like that, and come to some agreements and stuff like that. So the bishop is all excited because he thinking that, you know, everything is hunky dory, where everything ain't hunky dory. To a point where is that we see a particular scene where is that all of them are basically getting ready to sit down and have some lunch, or I think have some lunch or have some dinner. But prior before that, we see that nah, now this is going to happen in day 5. So prior before that, if we see that I kind of skipped over some things, but we see that the bishop, thinking that everything is going to be okay, basically gets a call from Basie's sister and the bishop picks up the phone because everybody was getting ready to sit down and have dinner, to pick up the phone. And so basically what happens is that on the line we see that there is going to be not a good time. We find out that Basie's sister basically want to have a meeting, basically with him, and discuss the will of the house. And that was basically it. I might have missed some stuff. I'm not quite sure. I'm positive that I did, but I just wanted to come up here and basically do a review and a recap. I don't think everything's gonna work out. We know that Charity is having some hard issues, some hard challenges. They also did get the name of the new church that the bishop and Lady May is by way of Charity. Uh, I think AJ is basically going to walk all over Noah. Um, and as far as Grace, you know how Grace is. It's all going to work out for the betterment because they finding up more out information, and when Darius get back, we'll probably have even more. Until the next time, until Tuesday, because today's Monday, until Tuesday or maybe Wednesday, and I won't say Tuesday. Wednesday, we'll see the 5th day. Till the next time, click, subscribe, um, watch, and take care of yourself. Put your mask on, 6 feet distance, and remember, love is for everybody.